Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, April 19th. We are full into earnings season. We've seen the big banks kind of wrap up their earnings. We have some drug companies. We have Tesla tomorrow after the bell. Next week, big week in the S&P. In fact, over the next 2 weeks, we will have pretty much all of the S&P reported. And, of course, the Dow components and the NASDAQ. So what... Sorry. So I just wanted to kind of go over here the NASDAQ in particular, because what are we setting up? And this is something that Joe and I kind of talked about yesterday. It's been in a few of the videos. We've talked about it in the room if you're in the room with us. Is this what the possibility is? Kind of a funky head and maybe a shoulder forming, right? And these shoulders, they don't have to be symmetrical. We can see that here because it kind of looks like a little bit of a double there, right? But that might be what we are looking at. And personally, I don't think of it as a head and shoulders. I always think of it as a sleepy, smiley face. I know, because it's cute. Kind of reminds me of a little baby. But anyway, we don't know that yet. So we have this big question mark here. Where are these candles going to take us today? You can see right now, most of our price action. Now, this is the futures, right? So it looks a little different. Most of the price action on the futures is hanging out inside yesterday's candle, but we did sneak up just a little bit here, and we have a higher low. Lot of time left in the futures, right? Because those run pretty much all day. So we have a lot of time left in this candle, but this is something that we really kind of need. I think we need to pay attention. Is this the pattern that's forming? We don't know. And you know what? You don't know until the pattern is done, because the pattern isn't done. The picture isn't done until it's done. So try not to predict, but be on the lookout. It may completely fail. We see the same thing here in the S&P, right? So this is the S&P futures. We see kind of like this big, I kind of messed that one up. It's not going to be as cute, so, right? We are also holding a fib line fairly well. I drew in trend lines yesterday on the chart and on the VIX, and they were pretty darn accurate because our candles are very orderly right now. They're whippy, right? Green day, red day, 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 right? It is annoying. It's terrible. It's hard to play. It's choppy. It makes swings dang near impossible to set up and hold on to. Now, there are a few warning signs I want to talk about in the charts, and this being one, right? Here's the 50. Can't get over the 50. Well, drop below. Can't stay over the 50. Okay, I stayed over the 50 on some lighter volume. Nope, going right back down below the 50. Can't get over the 50. Can't get over the 50. So those are things to pay attention to as well, right? So we have a lot of conflicting information in the charts. We go back here and look at the NASDAQ. We are well below the 50, haven't been over the 50 here in almost 2 weeks. But again, using a nice little fib line here. Let's look at some other indicator or other charts. Looking at Bitcoin, beautiful base, nice tight pennant here forming. Love that. Drew in this trend line based off these candles. Look at that. We used it the last couple of sessions really nicely. Tighter, right below this fib line. Lots of congestion ahead, but as Bitcoin moves up, usually gives us some support. Futures in the gold. Gold had a nice pop yesterday, but look at this beautiful. We had all this congestion, right? Couldn't get out. Popped up here. Very tight candles here now forming. So watch some of those gold plays like NEM or GLD. The miners, there's a bunch of them. Take a look at those. Oil, right? We feel this every day when we go to fill up. Oil taking a pullback here today, but yesterday it closed 108, I think is what it was, just over 108. So pretty high there. Taking a nice little pullback. And we'll watch the volume on this. Volume tells us a lot about what is going on in the chart. So if you have a slight pullback, maybe even up to about a 50% pullback of the most recent run, or sideways action on lower volume, that tends to be a bullish setup. Not all the time. Nope, not all the time. Nothing is always and nothing is never, okay? So keep that in mind, but we do have a nice tight area here put in a nice double bottom here. But we are still watching the fact that we have, boom, I'm going to draw two here. I'm going to draw this one and this one. Love my trend lines. I know it makes my charts kind of messy. Breaking up through these trend lines. Nice possibility for a room to about 115, 116 there. In oil. And again, a lot of this is also an issue with Ukraine and Russia, right? So just keep that in mind. All right. Now, tech. What is tech doing? As the yields rise, tech is taking it, really taking it on the chin, right? They're just getting smacked around. That being said, some charts like NVIDIA put in a beautiful reversal yesterday. AMD put in a reversal yesterday. Meanwhile, Apple attempted, failed, but keep an eye on Apple. It's actually green this morning. So keep an eye on some of these tech charts. For a swing? No. For a day trade. Tesla, right? So Tesla is not just being affected by Tesla. It's Twitter. We're going to look at Twitter too. Definitely, need to keep these on your list for day trades. Now, Tesla reports tomorrow because it's 4/20. They report after the bell, so look for some pretty good volatility. What I love about Tesla on this one is looking at this 34. That's a lot of support and accumulation sitting right in here as we go into those earnings. So, Musk momentum. There we go. Musk momentum affecting both Tesla and Twitter. Look at this here yesterday. Bullish engulfing candle. We still held a majority of that gap. You can see that we have a nice line of support here right around 44.50. And then yesterday we spent a lot of time trying to get through 47.50. Once we did, pop. We made a nice little pop up. Earnings coming up. We are in earnings season. Before you take a play or before you swing a play, look and see when the earnings are and when earnings are for others that are possibly reporting in the same sector. All right, so that's Twitter. I love this. I love the Twitter 50s, and I would be keeping those up and a watch for those, maybe opening range break. Right now, Twitter is actually a little red by a couple cents. It's 48.44 here in the pre-market, so keep an eye on all of those. Meanwhile, Apple looking to come up. It's sitting at over 165 here. But what am I watching for today? Mosaic. Pure breakout as we get ready to go into earnings. This chart has been nothing but a bullish run here. Started out with this nice bull flag. So watch this. We could start to have that flagging where we pull down a little bit, but worth keeping on your watch, even though we have earnings coming up, right? Earnings on all of these. 520, the MOS 80 call is what I am looking at. 78.15 would be my entry. It's holding a nice strong pivot here on the monthly charts, and it is a breakout play. I would initially target 83.75. I know it's a pretty good jump up there, and that would be the next pivot in MOS. Well, we all get hungry. McDonald's here. Off of these lows, man, this was quite a low, and I'm beginning to wonder if we're going to see maybe a very large inverted head and shoulders. Sometimes you can pop these over on the weekly and see it a little more clearly. I wonder if that's what we're getting ready to set up here. We do have earnings coming up, but I love that we are just kind of sitting sideways here. So here we go. There's this pattern again, sitting in a sideways pattern on decreasing volume as we get ready to go into earnings. I'm watching McDonald's, the 250 call. My entry is going to be, these will be in the money, so you can always change that, adjust, look at your chains and see where that volume is. But 250 is the call I'm going to go with for right now. 250 would be my entry. Staying over the 3, staying over the 8. Nice consolidation, lower volume, targeting 253.75 and then 255.50 on McDonald's. All right. Well, inflation. I'm not sure if you've heard, but we have an inflation issue these days. I know. Can't believe no one told us, right? So Procter Gamble, this goes into the consumer staples and consumer defensive area, right? We don't need consumer discretionary, right? We don't have to go buy, you know, a new iPhone. We don't have to go buy luxury goods. But we do have to buy shampoo, toothpaste, toilet paper, all of those things. Regardless of inflation, those are the things we need. Procter Gamble is a play on that. Again, earnings coming up, but still like this longer term look. Looks like a bull flag setting up. We're pushing up, pulling back a little bit. Volume isn't telling us as much here because it stayed fairly steady, but looking for a reversal play in this now. I would like to see a push down below this candle. If we don't get that open up inside, I would take it above the close from yesterday, 157.06. I like that. PG 160 calls, targeting 158.48 and then 160.55. Like I said, a lot of other ones to watch. I would watch a lot of those tech plays, see if we get a move or a continued reversal in some of these. But I will also caution here on the overall look. Here we go. So this is the SPY. Look at these trend lines. Got some trend lines in here. This is the hourly SPY. What do you notice about this? There's something that is very important as a trader. You can be a great chart reader and be a terrible trader, but it's much harder to be a good trader and not be able to read a chart. I know. So learn how to read these charts and then put it into practice. What I see here, overall, lower highs, lower lows. We're going to look and see if we can reverse that trend. But that is the trend that we are in. It is a downward bearish trend. We've also seen that the first hour of trading can give a lot of false hope where we think we're about to go up and then we slide sideways, give it up at the end of the day, right? So it has been very difficult. A day trader's market is what we have right now. Okay, so pop over to the hourly charts. This is something that I think is very helpful for whatever sector you're in. Take a look at these and you can see here we actually on this last candle kind of started to push up a little bit, but look, we've seen that here, so we can push up for a few days and then continue to fail. It's the breakout of these trend lines. The next trend line is coming up here at the 20. So we'll see if we can break through on some of these. All right, that is it for me today. I hope you have an awesome Tuesday. We have Fed speakers all week. Don't forget on Thursday we have Jerome Powell speaking at 11. Today, during the day, of course, and because I don't know why they can't do this outside of market hours, but Charles Evans will be speaking at the noon hour. Neil Kashkari speaks after the close, so it'll be this evening. Tomorrow, Mary Daly, Charles Evans, Raphael Bostic, all speaking tomorrow. And then going into the Thursday where Jerome Powell speaks twice, actually, at 11 a.m. and then at 1 p.m. So a lot of Fed speak this week, and we have seen how much this truly does affect the overall market. Okay, I hope you have an awesome day. If you have any questions, reach out. Heather C, GivingTreeTrading.com.